It's time for an X Games staple, an event notorious for history making. It's the Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final. What's up and welcome everybody. Brandon Graham alongside the legend Chris Miller with Corbin Harris reporting live from the course. Chris, this vert stage has propelled countless skaters into superstardom over the years.
Absolutely, and especially here at X Games, we've had some of our biggest moments throughout history. Going back, I just watched Bob Burnquist run from Philadelphia, and it was unbelievable, and it even holds up today. So no doubt about it, this is a huge platform and a big event, and we're excited to see it today.
No shortage of big names out here today, including our gold medalist from 2014, Geena Wilkins, who has arguably the best style of anyone in this field.
No question about it. Jimmy combines the classic style of what it means to be a skateboarder on any terrain with the modern progression of vert skating, and he just kind of does it like no one else can. But he's got to get past this guy, Bucky Lassick, the heavy veteran. Bucky had to qualify the hard way to get here, and he won that qualifier in San Diego.
Bucky is our oldest skater in the field, but he's also our most successful with over 20 X Games medals. There's a look at our finals format. 10 skaters out here, 3 runs each, top score wins, and of course judging criteria just boils down to overall impression.
Overall impression, but they're looking at tricks, and obviously you can't fall, and I think beyond that, all of these guys are really capable of winning. I mean, we pick our favorites and we talk about them, but every one of these guys could win this event.
Well, we've talked about Geena Wilkins and of course Bucky Lassick, but no shortage of superstars out here today. A guy I know you're really excited about, our silver medalist from last year, Moto Shibata.
Moto Shibata is a relatively new face on the scene, and he's got a great style, similar in ways to Geena Wilkins, and kind of a fresh approach, and he's exciting to watch. So, and we're looking for big things from him, and we'll talk more about it when he skates.
A lot of fresh blood out here today. Excited to see what goes down. Here's a look at that monstrosity of a vert ramp. Our stage out here today, 13 feet 6 inches. And I know we say that, and it just feels, even being out there, even watching on your screen, just how big this thing truly is.
It is absolutely, and for all the people that skate parks or watch their kids skate parks, it's the same idea. It's just bigger. They got more time in the air, and they can do, more difficult flips and spins because of that.
Well, this is an event that harks back to the very first year of the Extreme Games back in 1995, and here we are 22 years later, and it's start time for the Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final. Kicking things off, Elliott Sloan.
Elliott just coming in the ramp looking casual, starting off with a couple of big airs. This guy has just turned into such a powerhouse, maybe known more for his performances on the big air ramp.
Oh.
Going down, losing it there.
Yeah, Elliott also competing in big air this weekend. The challenge of skating in 2 events, especially when one is big air, it's almost impossible to commit the same amount of time to both events.
Well, and not only the practice time, but just adapting to the smaller ramp. Actually, talking to all the guys, they'll say it's easier to go from a small ramp to a big ramp versus the other way around because it just feels so tight and compressed, and the time is so much quicker.
Elliott Sloan, 8 X Games medals, 2 of them gold, yet to get the top spot in his vert career. Next to drop in, our lone British rider in the field, Paul-Luc Ronchetti.
And Paul-Luc is such a talent. Looking for big things out of him. He's a strong guy. Talked to his trainer, and he said, and he trains a lot of these skaters, a lot of the vert guys. He said Paul-Luc is one of the strongest guys that he works with.
We don't have him in the field today because he's recovering from injury, but sometimes PLG, Pierre-Luc Gagnon, who's a legend in this event, sometimes they get confused for one another, the names being so similar.
Absolutely. And PLR is the new PLG, at least until PLG's back and recovered from his injury.
And Ronchetti unable to get a full pool there. He does have a lone medal in this event. It came in 2015 at X Games Austin, as we take one more look at his first run.
Another look. Nose grab 540. It's a really cool style and approach. We're doing a 5, and this is nice looking kickflip indie on the corner. Not sure where that went wrong, but you know, sometimes this is a mental game as much as it's a game of sport. I mean, it's just so tough to come out there under pressure and perform in that exact moment.
So Ronchetti with a 75 solid first run score. Again, each of these skaters getting 3 attempts. We only count the best score, so he'll get another couple chances at that. That's Mitchie Brusco, a young man that we're waiting to see some really big things from on this stage. We've seen it in big air, we've seen it on vert. We have yet to see him get that top spot. Here's a guy who's no stranger to top spots in his 25th X Games appearance, owner of 23 X Games medals, the one, the only, Andy McDonald.
No question, his track record speaks for itself. This guy is one of the most consistent skaters out there, an incredible vert skater, also a great big air and park skater. Andy Mac does it all, but this is what he's more known for.
Such an illustrious career. He's got the 3rd most X Games medals of all time.
Getting around on that 720, body varial 5, and you know, Andy has such a deep bag of tricks, lean rodeo. Really, he is one of the true innovators of vert. He's been around for a long time. A lot of this stuff is tricks of his own creation. Great run, and that's he's a veteran.
Right.
This is what you expect from Andy McDonald.
Absolutely. Again, 3 runs, we count the best score, but no one knows this competition, this format as well as Andy McDonald, and it shows on run number 1. Cool and consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a great run, but Andy's got more for us because he's that type of strategic skater. He's definitely going to be out in runs 2 and 3 up in the ante.
Well, he has all those medals, but it should be noted his last vert medal was in 2013 back in Los Angeles when he got a bronze. So it's been a minute for Andy Mac, but he has the top spot right now. So many more runs to come here from the inaugural X Games Minneapolis. Steps away from US Bank Stadium, we welcome you back to the Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final. We are 3 skaters into our 10-man field, and Andy McDonald currently holding it down with the top spot, that score of 78.66, putting him into first place, but still a lot of skating left to be done here, Chris.
Absolutely.
Next to drop in, Marcelo Bastos, 30 years old, hard to believe, already his 8th X Games appearance. He's got 2 medals, a silver and a bronze.
He is such a good skater, and I mean, when we talk about that record, he tends to be a guy that you know, he either pulls together an incredible run or he falls apart. So
yeah, 2013 was his best year to date. He earned both of his medals that year and had 4 top 10 finishes.
Nice start to the run, really high energy here. Several 540 variations. Look at that. Back to back to back. I mean, Marcelo he can do almost any trick. You know, he's unbelievable. And he's such a talent, and it looks like he's putting it together here. Absolutely on fire.
Absolutely getting the board around, and you can't ask for a better first run if you're Marcelo Bastos than what he just put down right there. Wow. What'd you like about this one, Chris?
Just an incredible run. Started off very high energy, a lot of big airs, great, every variation of 540 practically. And then this, nollie heel Indy 3. That's a serious trick. I mean, it's amazing that he took that much risk on his first run, but right there he is, and that's going to be in first place for sure.
An 83.66, a commanding lead Bastos has just taken on his first attempt, and this field here at X Games Minneapolis officially put on notice. There we see Bob Burnquist. The man has accomplished everything there is to do at X Games. He is the only athlete to compete in all 23 5 previous X Games summer events. He's only won this event, though, shockingly, 1 time. It's what you referenced earlier, back in 2001 in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and so, you know, if you're on YouTube sometime and you're digging through the funnel of Bob Burnquist content, watch his run from Philadelphia X Games 2001, which I can't believe that long ago. It is one of the best runs ever on vert, maybe the best.
Right.
And it would hold up today. So,
and his last vert medal, just getting on the podium, period, was back in 2006. So it's been a minute for Bob, but he's had no trouble getting the top spot in big air, which we'll be seeing him do later on this weekend. Here's a young man who's really grown up in front of our eyes. 20 years old, now making his 10th X Games appearance, if you can believe that. Mitchie Brusco.
And Mitchie definitely part of the new wave of vert. And he's, again, just so talented. Deep bag of tricks, can do it all. We've watched him growing up. I feel like I've been watching him forever. I guess we kind of have.
Mitchie, of course, has etched his name into the record books a couple of times. He was the first to land the 900 in a mega ramp contest, and also the first to land the 1080 in X Games big air. So he's no stranger to this stage.
He's putting down a super good run. Really solid.
Oh,
great ending.
And it should be noted, Chris, Sam Beckett, our defending gold medalist from last year, he's injured. He's not here. PLG, who won 2 years ago, recovering from injury, he's not here. This thing is wide open. Mitchie Brusco is primed to win his very first gold medal if he can put down runs like this.
Absolutely, a 720 right there. Unbelievable combinations and tricks in that run. Mitchie, you know, from child prodigy to mainstay of the vert scene. Incredible straight skating. Unbelievable trick selection, and that was a solid run. If there's any critique, is like he could go a little higher, but wow, I'm nitpicking with that.
What's gonna happen?
You can see the nerves on Mitchie. Well, I'll tell you what happened, bud. An 88.66. You have a new leader. Now, I know we still got some names left to come, but that felt like a podium run. That felt like potentially a first place run.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I was impressed with Bastos' run, but you can see the difference in the technical difficulty with what Mitchie put down, and that's why the judges gave him that score.
Well, we'll see if these first place scores are infectious. After Bastos get it, then Brusco. Now here's Clay Kriner, a young man we're very excited about. He made his debut last year, but X Games Minneapolis has the potential to be very special for Clay, as there's a triple crown of sorts in play, as he's also competing in park and big air.
And you can see the difference in his style. Clay is a powerhouse, just boosting huge airs. Massive 540 combinations.
Whoa! He was absolutely boosting, Chris.
Kickflip, maybe kickflip body varial McTwist. I don't know. I think he can do both, but losing it there. But again, it's that height, that amplitude, the power that Clay has. That's what makes him such an exception and such a star. Just going huge on that run. We're going to see more from him.
So Clay Kriner perhaps giving us a preview of what's to come. I mean, the amplitude alone impressing the fans out here in Minneapolis. I can imagine they're doing the same thing for the judges. So it's Mitchie Brusco leading the way with that 88.66. We're 7 skaters in for run number 1 of our Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final. But our podium coming up next. So here is Bucky Lassick. He had to earn his way into this contest, if you can believe that. He didn't make the podium last year. He ended up being our top-ranked qualifier when we did our event in San Diego just a month ago. What what does Bucky have left in the tank?
Well, he's got a lot. I've been watching clips of Bucky skating vert, and he's been putting in the time, and he's got some great new tricks, some progression. Bucky's not sleeping. He's on it. I mean, this guy is one of the greatest skateboarders of all time. Nollie, flip, lean, boneless to fakie, Algarial. Bucky really combines kind of the old with the new, some real innovation where he's kind of inventing new tricks out of old tricks. Wow.
That was awesome. A fun first run for Bucky Lasek. You know, Bucky is the oldest skateboard medalist in X Games history. And he won that gold back in LA 2013. He was just over 40 and a half years old, but he might be adding to his collection with a run like that.
Wow. Nollie flip, lean, just so unique. I mean, Bucky is one of the only people doing that. Switch front feeble. Really technically difficult. That was not a simple run. Curious to see where the judges stack him up.
Remember, Brusco with that top spot, 88.66. We're in the midst of run one. Each of these skaters will get 3 attempts, 81. So enough to put him into podium position early in this final.
Not bad. Bucky's got more in the tank.
Next to drop in, a guy we've really been talking up, super style. Much like Geena Wilkins in 2014, Moto Shibata crashed the vert podium. Relative newcomer last year.
Absolutely, and you're about to see, he's refreshing to watch. He goes big. He's similar to Clay Kriner in that power, some unique style, and he's got some very original tricks. There's 540 right there.
Wearing that silver last year, Moto became the first Japanese skater to ever medal in a skateboard event at X Games.
Wow!
Oh my!
Inside cab.
He makes it look so effortless, Chris. That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh!
There it is.
Wow!
Inside cab.
Oh my goodness!
I did not expect to see that on the first one. That trick is, he's the only guy to do it.
Welcome to Minneapolis, Moto.
But I wasn't expecting it right here.
Whoa.
That right there is a front foot lean impossible, which is amazing. But that's kind of a setup trick for him, apparently. What a run. I mean, wow, just so amazing.
So 20-year-old Mitchie Brusco, our current leader, could he get bumped by 21-year-old Moto Shibata here in run number one?
Big moment of anticipation here. It's very interesting to me because that run was just on fire. Different tricks.
A 90 on the dot. Moto Shibata taking over first place.
Wow, what a run. No strategic build up there. He's not on the Andy McDonald program of start and build.
Heavy. Moto takes mini. Look at that. A 90 on the dot bumping Brusco.
Wow, we've got ourselves a contest here.
So here's Geena Wilkins, perhaps the most stylish skater in this field. Earned an X Games gold at X Games Austin back in 2014. Got a bronze last year.
Jimmy is just graceful. That's maybe the only way to describe it. It's not necessarily a word that skaters always use, but that's what he has. He has grace and power and finesse.
Yeah.
540 ollie. He's technical too. He's not just a smooth, styling guy. There you go. A body varial, backside ollie 3.
Who else is doing it?
Nobody. So that's the kind of technicality that he has. It looks subtle, but it's so extremely difficult. That fall at the end will hurt him, but that was an awesome run. Just so smooth, and just everything, the way he flips his board, the way he gets it back onto his feet, it's unique and it's different than the rest of the field, and that's why he's the favorite. 540 ollie. Nobody else is doing that in competition.
Completely in control. Moto Shibata in that top spot after an impressive run one, and it's Geena Wilkins rounding out our group of 10 on attempt number 1. Judges really taking their time with this one, Chris. An 89. Wow. So good enough for silver medal position, and do we have a battle on our hands? After what Moto Shibata just did, Geena Wilkins tried to match him. We're just getting started here at X Games Minneapolis. Welcome back to the inaugural X Games of Minneapolis. We come to you right outside our new home of US Bank Stadium. It's the Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final. Brandon Graham alongside Chris Miller and Moto Shibata just put the entire field on notice, Chris.
Absolutely, just unbelievable skating.
Well, let's head down to the third member of our team, Corbin Harris, who's with a special guest.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Yes, we have Austin's 2016 gold medalist right here, Sam Beckett. Sam, unfortunately, you're injured this year. What happened?
I was just skating and I slipped and twisted my knee and my ankle, partially tore my MCL and my hamstring and sprained my ankle. And that was about a month ago, so I've got a few more weeks before I'm back on board.
And then how long do you think till you're back at this level again?
I don't know, a few more weeks I'm going to start rolling around, and then we'll see in a couple of months. Maybe I'll be strong again, hopefully.
Yeah. We were standing here right next to the ramp for those first runs. Everyone was throwing down. Who you think is going to come through with the gold this time?
It's pretty hard to say. I always thought it was going to be a battle between Jimmy and Moto, and I wasn't expecting them both to make their first runs like straight away. So Jimmy knows he's got to step it up, but I think it's going to be pretty close between those two.
All right, we can't wait to see you back, guys.
Thank you, Corbin. Yeah, Sam Beckett, too bad that we're not seeing him out here after the performance he put down in 2016, but the rest of that podium, Moto Shibata, Geena Wilkins, absolutely making their presence known here today.
Absolutely, living up to the hype.
So we kick off run number 2 here at the Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final. Elliott Sloan did not have the run 1 that he was looking for. Fell off the board quickly on his first attempt. What can he do to up the ante and get into podium position?
He's doing it so far. He's just got to stay on his board. It's like I said, all of these guys are so good.
Oh, same.
That was tough. That was a very weird fall. But, you know, again, going from big air and those huge transitions, you're talking about a 30-foot quarter pipe down to, even though this is a big ramp, it's a lot tighter, it's a lot quicker. I think that's tough timing, bouncing back and forth.
It's really neat to see this podium positioning right now. Of course, it's early. 3 attempts. We're 1 run in, except for Elliott, who just got his 2nd attempt in. Moto in 1st, Jimmy in 2nd, Brusco in 3rd. If it were to finish this way, it would be our youngest podium in the history of X Games Skateboard Vert. But again, don't want to get ahead of ourselves, especially when you got a guy like Paul-Luc Ronchetti about to drop in for his 2nd attempt. We know what he's capable of.
Paul-Luc, a lot of power, big airs. We love that.
Yeah, the way he extends himself once he's in the air is just extraordinary.
And he's so good. He's a very serious competitor too. He puts a lot of effort in. He puts in the time training. He's disciplined. And he's got the tricks. He just has to hang on and overcome the nerves.
So Paul-Luc putting some pressure on himself to deliver on his 3rd and final attempt. His 7th place is where he will stay. Again, that 75 on run number 1 was a solid score. And briefly held on to the top spot. Now he's on the outside looking in 7th place. Right ahead of him, our next competitor to drop in for his second attempt, Andy McDonald.
And I'm looking for Andy to step up this run. Again, he's so seasoned and he's so strategic. And, you know, we're talking about Paul-Luc trying to overcome the nerves. Well, this guy's mastered that piece of it. And typically, you see Andy, he puts down his first run, and then he builds, and he'll add a little bit more, and then he'll add a little bit more. So looking for the details to see what the variation is in this run.
Southern California from the East Coast. We were blown away. Nice coming fly there, looking smooth.
Nice start. Kickflip in. He's just so perfect. He's so casual. I mean, he looks relaxed.
It's like he's done this at 25 different X Games, maybe.
Possibly. 720, getting around a little bit better, a little higher that time than his first run. 505.
There it is. The same run as he had last time.
Looking solid. I feel like this looks like a better run. Wow, front blunt to Smith. Putting a cherry on top of that run. Andy McDonald again and again and again.
No one has more career X Games competition starts than Andy McDonald, and that's the reason why. Is that enough to bump him up, Chris Miller?
Well, I think he did improve on his first run, absolutely. I can't say that he's going to get on the podium with that run, but it was a good run.
A slight uptick on the score, but not in the standing. Sixth place is where he will stay with that 79. Marcelo Bastos skated so well on that first attempt. Was sitting on the top spot before getting bumped by a handful of guys. He's right now directly on the outside of that podium position, sitting in fourth. How was he best at? 83.6 seconds.
Well, you know, the good news is that was a great run, and he knows where he's at. So he knows what he's got to do, and all he can really do is try to up the ante, and he's got the tricks to do it.
Oh!
There you go.
Can't fault him for trying, because that's exactly what he did.
You know, and so in his position, of course he wants the podium, but, you know, he knows that first run, he knows what that is, and he can continue to try harder and harder tricks. And the thing is, Marcelo has the tricks to do it. It's not like he did the best run he can ever do.
Get out of that fourth spot. He's just outside the podium in fourth right now, and he can definitely do it. He's a rider.
Bob Burnquist, 30 X Games medals, 14 of them gold. Right now, he is tied with Jamie Bestwick for second on the all-time win list, behind Shaun White with 15.
Well, and there's no question that over the last 10 years, Bob's focus has been big air, and
No doubt.
he's dominated that. And the smaller transition for him has become a secondary discipline, but that isn't to say that he doesn't have what it takes to win today. He does. He can. It's just incredibly difficult to go back and forth from big air to vert or big air to park. It's amazing that they do.
So Bob Burnquist again unable to stay on his feet on a vert attempt.
So great. Yeah, that's Bob Burnquist right there. Legend when it comes down to it.
If you're just joining us, we're in the midst of run 2 here at the Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final. Moto Shibata went absolutely bananas on his first run with a 90 on the dot to take the lead. Mitchie Brusco so calm and collected. He's sitting in third place with that 88.66. He's got 2 silvers. He's got 3 bronze. He's never a gold medal in his X Games career.
Starting off with a switch backside ollie. Losing it. If anybody wasn't paying attention to that, pretty unique. I think he knows what he's got to do. I mean, again, if you're Brusco, if you're Bastos, at this stage, you've made a really great run, so it's just, there's nothing else to do but kind of go for broke and just try your hardest stuff.
So far, skaters not having the same fate in run 2 that they had in run 1, where we saw some monster scores. We'll see if Kriner can reverse that trend. He's got a 48.33 he's trying to replace. He's sitting in 8th place.
Massive. 540. And again, getting the height where he's up level with
oh my gosh!
He's in the 8-foot range there on those first few airs. Alley-oop 5.
And still keeping the amplitude.
Yeah, no question. Reminiscent of Sandro Diaz, maybe a modern version.
Oh!
That was unbelievable. Put that under him and attempted to land that so far off.
If he could have skated away from that, Chris Miller.
Such a low landing. I don't know how you recover from that. Kickflip, body varial, McTwist, and he's just so inverted in that point. And he's just like, I'm going to make this. That is just determination. The board rotating underneath them.
To even get his feet back on the board with that trick is just insane. Again, Kriner, perhaps the busiest athlete at X Games this weekend, also competing in skateboard big air and skateboard park. We're halfway through run number 2, and that young man, Moto Shibata, still has the overall lead. He hits the course for his second attempt after this. Welcome back to the Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final here at X Games Minneapolis. And the new regime, the young bloods, have officially shown up here today, Chris Miller.
Taking over.
Moto Shibata, Geena Wilkins, Mitchie Brusco in your podium position with Bastos right behind them in that 4th place spot. Moto and Jimmy yet to drop in for their second runs.
I think this guy would like to reverse that trend. He said, what? Young guy's taking over. I'm about to show you what it means to be boss of the vert ramp.
Our oldest competitor in the field, 44-year-old Bucky Lassick. He's got 10 X Games gold medals, 8 of them in this very event.
Dropping straight into it. Air fakie, inside cap, tail grab, McTwist. I mean, Bucky has such original combinations and they're so difficult. Just amazing.
Oh! I wonder, Bucky's accomplished everything there is to do at X Games. He actually had to go and qualify because he didn't make the podium last year. Does something like that make a veteran like him even hungrier?
He's a fierce competitor. I mean, he's a champion. This guy is motivated, and he's still motivated. And as a matter of fact, I think all these young guys makes him want to try even harder.
Our current leader, 21 years old, Moto Shibata. A silver medal in his X Games debut last year, and you saw a preview of what this guy's all about in run number 1. No one's been able to touch him so far. What can he do to up the ante?
I do not know that. We're going to have to sit around and see. He's going higher on this run, I feel. Going for body here at 5, losing it. So, you know, he was trying to go bigger. And what else can you do? You're in first. Go for it. I don't know if he's got a better run in him or not, but no harm in trying. Look at this.
I love watching Bob's eyes up there. Did he really just do that? So Moto Shibata, not the run he was looking for, but first place is where he will stay. Well, our final skater to drop in for his second attempt, Geena Wilkins. Let's hear how X Games has been an inspiration in his skate career in this game day sound.
As soon as I got a skateboard, the only thing I could watch though skateboarding was the X Games. So like, that's how I got into skating, and that's how I got into skating vert ramps, just from watching those contests and watching guys like Bob and Tony and Bucky, like, you know, have these amazing contests.
Geena Wilkins watching the legends, trying to become one in the process, and he's had a great year. He's coming in on a bit of a heater, Chris. He won the El Gato Classic in Palm Springs in the Vert Attack in Sweden just a couple of months ago. So he's got the pedigree, he's got the comp results. Can he put it all together and get back on the top spot?
He absolutely can. Massive frontside alley-oop ollie. Alley-oop, tail grab 5. Oh!
Whoa.
I'm amazed he made that. Almost got away from him. Wow. Kickflip lean, backside ollie 5. I mean, this is the run. It's happening. He just needs to end it.
Oh! I think everyone collectively here in Minneapolis wanted to see that finish so bad.
He's got such a unique style. Everyone I talked about, I mean, you know, all kinds of vert veterans and industry people, it's if Jimmy makes his run, he's absolutely will win the event. He's the guy to beat right now, and you can see why, but he's got to make a whole run.
If he finishes that, is it enough to trump Shibata and take over the top spot?
It definitely could be.
We are 2 runs in, and it's Moto Shibata leading the way. 3rd and final attempt time when we return.
I don't pretend to be cool, don't pretend to be young. I don't pretend to be smart, don't pretend to be dumb. I don't pretend to be hard, don't pretend to be fun.
Welcome back to the Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final, coming to you from our new home at US Bank Stadium here at X Games Minneapolis. 2 runs in our 3-run final, and it's Moto Shibata still leading the way. Geena Wilkins on his heels, a point behind, almost put it together on that 2nd attempt, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like he was on his way. He was on his way. One more trick, and he might have had it. Gonna have to wait for run number 3.
Elliott Sloan is sitting in 10th. This has not been the vert final he was looking for. Again, ultra focused on big air, as he generally is year in, year out. Let's see if he saved his best for last here on 3rd and final attempt time.
Well, Elliott Sloan put down a heater of a vert part, video part, so
yes,
it's not like he doesn't have the tricks, but again, blame it on the big air, but doing these 2 events, it's really tough. So, seeing him skate to his potential, but that's okay, a great show anyway.
So, definitely not the happiest autograph Elliott Sloan has probably ever given. Not the day he was looking for, but he can keep his head up because he has another big event that he's been looking very good at practice, and that's big air, coming up a little later on. Paul-Luc Ronchetti had a very strong run number 1. Didn't put it together on attempt number 2. He's sitting in 7th place. If he wants to crash podium position right now, he would have to best Mitchie Brusco's 88.66.
Massive start to these runs. I love how big he skates these days. A lot of power, very smooth skater. You know, and he's got the technical ability as well. Nice big body jar.
Final 10 seconds.
Yeah. There he is, flipping his board. Narjar.
Whoa.
It's a 540 to tail. 1 foot in front center. You know what? It's a good run. Still going past the buzzer. That was a good run. I don't think that's going to put him on the podium, but that was excellent. It's definitely going to bump his score.
A full pool for Paul-Luc Ronchetti as we take another look. Again, his best score was a 75 on run number 1.
Massive amplitude from PLR, just going huge on that run. Big body jar and a NAR jar thrown in that run. So some impressive tech along with the big air.
A 70.66, not able to best his score. So 7th place is where he will stay. Andy McDonald, he's had 2 clean attempts. He's going to have to shake things up if he wants to best that 79 he put down on attempt number 2 as he sits in 6th place.
As I've said, Andy McDonald usually steps it up. building blocks from run number 1 to run number 3.
Oh.
Upping the ante and losing it, so not able to bump himself up.
Very uncharacteristic of Andy Mack to lose his board that early in the run. So 6th place is where he will stay. Chris, it should be noted from 2002 to 2013, the 15 X Games skate vert gold medals were won by just 4 guys. Pierre-Luc Gagnon, Shaun White, Sandro Diaz, and Bucky Lasek. But the last 4 have been won by 4 different skaters. Will we make it 5 for 5 with Moto Shibata currently in 1st place?
I think we could, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if this man puts down a scorcher. He's got it in him.
Marcelo.
See if he can hang on.
Sitting in that 4th place spot.
Landing high on that one, but looking good so far. 5, mute 5. Drifting.
Oh, and he was on one, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. So technical, so much going on, back to back to back. What an effort. And actually a great showing for Marcelo Bastos. Not on the podium, though, today.
The Sao Paulo native was looking for his first podium since X Games Barcelona back in 2013, but he will be unable to get there, as 4th place is where he will stay.
Good show from Marcelo. Sorry to see him not make that run, but that was still awesome skating.
So with Marcelo's day done, we move on to Bob Burnquist. He's sitting in 9th place. We're still looking for the best from him today here in vert.
He's out of Rio, 40 years old, the only person to beat every single X Games. Ladies and gentlemen.
Again, the heavy favorite to earn another gold medal in X Games Big Air. He would love nothing more than to get back on top in an event he hasn't won in 16 years.
Getting a little sketchy. He's hanging on, though. Bob's kind of known for having a sketchy Scott style and being scrappy and making stuff that he shouldn't. Really like that.
Already the best run of the day for him.
And with Bob, you got to watch. I mean, he throws switch tricks like they're nothing. Whoa! I don't know what happened there. He slid out or something.
You bring up a good point about Bob Burnquist. He's so sneaky good technically that sometimes his switch skating, you forget what his orientation is, and I think sometimes that's almost too nuanced for fans watching.
Sure. And, you know, like I said, Bob has this scrappy style where he makes stuff that he shouldn't. You know, he pulls stuff in. I mean, right there, he landed just a fraction of an inch below the coping. He adjusts his front foot. See, he kind of fishtailed there. He just lost traction. I mean, that was amazing that he recovered and didn't step off, but...
So we'll find out Bob Burnquist's 3rd run score right after this. The crowds have officially invaded day 1 of X Games Minneapolis in front of our new home of US Bank Stadium. It's 3rd and final run time here at the Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final. Moto Shibata, Geena Wilkins, Mitchie Brusco, those 3 are in your podium position. They could play some leapfrogging with each other with Moto Shibata, Mitchie, and Jimmy still to go for their 3rd and final attempt. Will Moto hold on to the top spot? We find out a young man who's trying to jump up and earn his very first X Games gold. He's sitting in bronze medal position, Mitchie Brusco.
20 years young for almost, it's Mitchie Brusco.
Mitchie Brusco dropping in for his 3rd and final attempt. This is the Fruit of the Loom Skateboard Vert Final.
Wow, 720, starting off strong. Great combo. Does he does 720s like they're nothing?
Well, that's why I was going to ask, could he add the 900 into this run? We'll never know.
And again, you're sitting on the podium. All you can do is try to up the ante, and that's what he did.
Again, so good, so talented, so young. He's got 3 bronze medals in this event. Chris Miller, 3 runs in, he's sitting in 3rd place.
Yeah, already a veteran doing some amazing skating, trying to up his score and losing it. Now he's just got to wait and see if he can hold on to that bronze medal.
There's only 2 guys who could potentially bump him off the podium, and one of them is our next to drop in. Clay Kriner has not had the day he was looking for thus far. Went down hard on attempt number 2. What can he do here to crash the podium party?
Well, he can go huge and stay on his board. And I think if we see that, he's definitely got the skills to be on that podium.
No one going higher out here today than South Carolina native Clay Kriner.
Alley-oop, melon 5, kickflip Indy.
Oh!
Not able to do it. Maybe a slight sigh of relief from Mitchie Brusco.
Clay knew he had to push it on his final attempt. He did just that, but was unable to stick the run. Where's it go wrong, Chris?
Yeah, you know, he flipped his board. It just didn't get around. You can see it's wheel side up, and there's no chance on that one. He took a pretty hard slam, too, on that run before, so that's got to be tough. It rattles you a bit.
A 52.66 was Kriner's run-2 score, a 51 for his 3rd attempt. 9th place is where he will stay. There is 1 skater left, Bucky Lasek, that can jump into podium position and potentially knock out Mitchie Brusco. Here's his chance. He put down a very strong run number 1 with that 81. He would need at least an 88.67 to take over a podium spot.
Just starting off strong. Front side. Heel flip.
Oh! Much like his 2nd attempt, unable to finish the run.
Tough break for Bucky. I mean, he's going for it. That run was chock full of tech.
Just
look at that.
Not able to get a grip on that board. So with that, Mitchie Brusco is guaranteed another bronze medal. And we can officially say, with still 2 skaters left to drop in, this will be our youngest podium ever. But this is our current leader, Moto Shibata. He knows Jimmy Wilkins is coming for him. He's got to push it up the ante right now if he wants to give himself some breathing room.
Wow. Moto just coming in huge. There you go. There's the Vero McTwist. Front foot impossible lean. Fakey to fakey 5. Fakey to fakey 5. Front side cab Madonna. Wow. Some of these tricks are just tongue twisters.
Oh!
Moto Shibata.
He doesn't close it out.
Isn't able to up the ante.
So with that, the door is still left open, if just ever so cracked, for Jimmy Wilkins.
Unbelievable skating from Moto Shibata.
Again, Moto Shibata, as an X Games rookie, earns a silver medal last year. Now he's in gold medal position, but is that where he will stay? He has that 90. Jimmy Wilkins has an 89, and he is our last skater to drop in here for the final. This is what X Games is all about. Jimmy Wilkins, he's won on this stage before. A silver medal is fine, but he came here for the top spot. He's going to have to put it down right now.
Backflip into a massive 540. That's so hard to do a lip trick into an air that high, let alone a 540.
Oh,
and he's
no!
losing it. He's not going to be able to do it.
Geena Wilkins unable to stay on his board, and with that, Moto Shibata earns his very first X Games gold medal.
What a moment. A tough break for Jimmy, but he's been here before. We couldn't be more thrilled for Moto.
A sensational battle all day long between those two. So much respect. And there you see Mitchie Brusco as well. This is our youngest podium in the history of X Games Skateboard Vert.
Wow. Amazing. Absolutely the new elite in Vert, being congratulated by veterans Bucky and Andy McDonald.
So here it is, our final standings. Moto Shibata, Geena Wilkins, and Mitchie Brusco round out our podium here at day one of X Games Minneapolis, and this is the first gold medal for Japan in skateboarding. Wow. Let's head down to Corbin Harris, who's with Moto.
Thank you very much, boys. The feeling that you got going right now, tell me what's going on inside your head.
I don't know. I was just keep going, and then yeah, so good to make my best run, and then yeah, take a Minneapolis and X Game for a great time.
Round of applause for Moto, people. This is his first Games X medal. Congratulations.
It's scary, Chris. A silver medal in his X Games debut last year, a gold medal here. What can't this kid do?
It's just so unbelievable.
X Games Minneapolis, day one. Skateboard Vert dominated by the youngsters. It's Moto Shibata earning his very first gold medal. Thanks for experiencing the first ever X Games in VR. Tomorrow we'll be live streaming for the BMX Street Finals at 6 p.m. Eastern, only on Samsung VR. Thanks for watching.